What's up guys, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at this 2024 Nissan Lease SV Plus. This is a fully electric hatchback finished in the two-tone white along with the gloss black, and the MSRP is about $38,500. So we can take a look at the power plant by popping those two, and then underneath the front area, if we open up the hood area, you're going to see a little bit of the motor system, battery, and things like that. So powering this car, like I said, fully electric. This one is a 60 kilowatt hour battery. It also has a 160 kilowatt hour motor, and it pumps out 214 horsepower with 250 pound-feet of torque. Car also weighs in around 3,900 pounds, and you're gonna expect the cruising range to be 212 miles at the maximum. So moving on to the styling now. I have a nice set of LED headlights. I like how they're blacked out, got a pretty cool look, and it's nicely integrated into this front grille design. You're gonna see like a tinted plastic over the actual grille design, kind of unique. You're gonna see an illuminated Nissan logo, front camera, then some gloss black down below. We also get LEDs up front for your fog lights. Pretty sporty looking car. I like all these sharp lines up in front, and I like how these center lines kind of wrap around that charge port cover. So not too bad, kind of looks like a more sporty Versa hatchback or something. Then you're gonna see more of those lines fading towards the windshield, and overall not a bad design. Now we got a very unique look for the 17-inch wheels, finished in a two-tone color, multi-spoke, and then a nice sharp line surrounding the front wheel arch. Got a nice side skirt as well, chrome along the door handles, and then gloss black mirror caps with a side view camera, and then pretty large windows from the side. Now the two-tone really comes into play back here. Got this really unique aspect, all gloss black on that roof. Kind of gives this line a nice floating look. So certainly is pretty unique. You're also gonna see the proportions, not too bad. Definitely feels like a compact hatchback for sure. In back, we got a pretty large set of nice looking taillights, and then more of that gloss black for the spoiler, wrapping around this window, and then more of it in the rear. Got the Nissan logo and leaf, rear view cameras underneath Nissan, of course the SV Plus badge. Then you're gonna see all of your parking sensors, rear diffuser with some cool sporty looking fins, and then a two-tone color. And then sharp lines throughout the liftgate that kind of mimic what we saw up front. You also get a really prominent body line right here, kind of giving it like a wide body rear fender. Now taking a look at some storage space, underneath the Nissan logo, we can manually open that up and lift it up. You're gonna see a pretty good amount of storage space. You have a pretty low load floor back here, so you can actually fit quite a lot of larger items. Got all of your charge cables right in here, and a light from back here, you're able to grab these and actually fold the seats down. So not too hard to do that. Now you are gonna notice how these are kind of up pretty high. I would assume the whole battery pack and everything is taking up a lot of floor space. So it does kind of hinder that flat design for the cargo area. However, at least they do fold down. So going in through here, you can see how flat the seats are gonna be, and then how it dips down low for the cargo area. Now, going ahead, pulling these back up, you don't really get too many amenities back here. And one thing kind of interesting, at 5'11", these seats are really high up, and I'm kind of looking over the driver and passenger. My head is also just barely touching the ceiling, so it does feel a little like I'm just kind of sitting really high up versus a normal car. So it's not the worst, of course, but definitely could be better in different types of cars. We've got USB ports down here. You're also gonna see cargo, but that's about all the amenities you're gonna see. In a pinch though, not bad for full-grown adults, but definitely more ideal for a child. Now moving on to the driver's seat. So you saw the interior a little bit. You're gonna see the fabric, all the blue stitching. We got black on the door panel, blue stitching, some fabric for your armrest, grab handle, and then all of your basic controls. You're gonna see power controls for the driver's seat as well. And then I like just the overall design, pretty simple with the black fabric, all the stitching, and the nice gray insert. You're also gonna see the black leather steering wheel with blue stitching and kind of a flat bottom design. And then now inside, just keep my foot on the brake, we can turn everything on. So you got your center screen as well as the one in the gauge cluster. This control panel will configure what you see on this left screen. So just scrolling up and down through here, you can see a lot of the battery information, your eco along with the regen and your range. And then scrolling left and right, the top area has all sorts of different settings. And you can continue over to information while driving. You see a few of those pop up. And then continuing, you have some eco information, navigation, and audio. You're also going to see cruise control on this right side, audio controls, stock on the right side for all the windshield wipers, and then headlights and turn signals on the left. Down here, of course, you can open up your charge port, heated steering wheel, you have the lane keeping, interior dimming, one of your air vents, and then just some plastic black along the dashboard with a little bit of a design over here. Now in the center, we have your air vents and then your infotainment screen. This is kind of what you would expect from any Nissan. So pretty simple across the board as expected. Phone integration, information, you have navigation, icon for your menu, of course an audio shortcut, and then a shortcut for your camera. So you can see that front view and top down, take a look at the wheel, and then back to your main screen. Now underneath that, we have all of your climate controls with temperature on the left, fan speed on the right, different zones, controls, and things like that. Then down below that, you're going to see USB ports and heated seats. Get a little bit of storage. You have your eco icon that you can easily toggle on and off. And then the E pedal, you can pull this back and you can turn that one on and off as well for the one pedal driving. Now the gear selector is pretty simple. You kind of pull it to the left and back for drive, left and forward for reverse, and then of course tap the P button to go back into park. Got some gloss black, electronic park and brake and cup holders, and then some of this vinyl material with blue stitching and just a little bit of storage. On the right side, have a pretty good sized glove box, and then one last look at the interior. So like I mentioned, you're kind of high up back there. In the driver's seat, you have a ton of headroom. So it's kind of unique how much higher up you sit in back. But pretty simple headliner, sunglass holder, mirror. With that said, let's take this for a spin. All right guys, we are setting off in the Leaf. And right up to 60. This thing's actually pretty peppy. Now the base model one, which starts around $28,000, has a nice chunk less horsepower. So this SV, you know, the $38,000 one, fully loaded, pretty peppy for what it is. It's nice to see there's two different offerings available, and this one's no slouch. It'll get you up to speed, no issue. Being front wheel drive, there is some torque steer, so you kind of gotta fight it a little bit as you wobble. So as far as some normal driving, you know, the technology does work pretty good. This is their 2.0 cruise control and everything. Seems to do well with the lane keeping. Of course, you know, on the highway it's a lot better than on some back roads. But normal driving, it's actually pretty comfortable and smooth. You hear just a little bit of wind noise, that's about it. You do have a fantastic view out with a huge windshield. Of course, the windows up in front also help you see around. The windows themselves are huge, so you pretty much have endless visibility. Not bad at all over your right shoulder, and really good over your left shoulder. So it's a very open feeling car. It kind of feels like it's a mini bus or something. Just the proportions on the interior, the windshield is really like far away and just huge. So you kind of feel like you're on like a cargo van or a bus of some sorts. So it's definitely a little interesting, but super roomy. The seats are pretty comfortable. The driver's seat can actually get in a lot of really good configurabilities to be nice and comfortable. So I don't have an issue as a driver. You know, it's a nice place to be. Pretty roomy too. It doesn't feel too cramped or anything. Armrests are in a pretty good place. So for kind of just normal driving, like zipping around town a little bit, it's pretty decently comfortable and kind of normal to drive, I would say. The technology, while it's nothing fancy or above and beyond, it looks nice and normal. It's very easy to work and you have all the stuff you're gonna need. So again, it's kind of a modern car. It's really not all that expensive for being a fully EV car. So can't really complain with just normal driving characteristics. Now, when you play with the drive modes, the eco mode basically makes it a little bit more conservative, so that way you're not going to use as much battery. So giving it half throttle, you know, it's a lot more sluggish than going out of eco mode. Half throttle definitely uses much more battery. And then the E pedal is basically one pedal driving, so I'm not touching the brake, and yet you can see us slowing down. So that's a really good way to just do the regenerative braking. On the meter there, you can see right now we're in the power. Take my foot off the throttle, instantly full regen right now. So it's nice to see that diagram, and of course the different drive modes, just to give you maximum regen when needed. Now this car definitely does feel like an economy car. The interior is pretty much all plastic, so it's nothing fancy or luxurious. The Nissan Ariya is a huge step up. That's a luxury vehicle. This is kind of basic. However, you know, hitting those big train track bumps, it feels solid though. So it's nicely put together. It's just, you know, not a refined interior. It's a fine place to be though. I wouldn't say it's, you know, anything bad or anything like that, but it's certainly no luxury car or anything. Traction control flickering just a little bit. I really do like the power. I think they've done a good job giving you a really peppy power plant. And you can only go 200 miles on a range, so that's kind of a little bit of a downfall with it. However, around town and stuff, honestly, you really shouldn't have too many issues zipping around, you know, for a week and then plugging it in maybe on a Friday night and letting it charge overnight at your house or something. But for a relatively affordable EV, you know, it seems like it's practical, it's roomy, it's got enough tech in it, and not a bad option for the money.